What's going on, everyone? So Anthony Davis is the guy, right? JJ Redick has talked about how he really wants to better utilize Anthony Davis, particularly in those fourth quarters. I mean, we saw how many times last year Anthony Davis would have, like 30 through three quarters and then not even touch the basketball in the fourth quarter. Right? And then what was even crazier is you'd hear like Darvin Ham being like, "Oh, he has a coach that needs to do a better job," and blah, blah, blah. And then he just never changed it. Like, he never corrected it. It was just so bizarre. He's just like, yeah, he needs his coach to understand, like making jokes about himself, but then never corrected it. It was just so bizarre. And JJ Redick has talked about how to better utilize, how to better properly position Anthony Davis and kind of want him to be the central hub for the offense. Everything kind of flows through him and allow him to make a lot of decisions on whether to play make or just go get a bucket, right? And Anthony Davis, putting him in position to be more efficient, be more effective, and playing him in different roles and positions on the basketball court could go a long way. Right? You could really kind of take Anthony Davis to another level and hopefully maybe even potentially get him to an all-star, MVP type of level. Obviously, is it always an all-star level, but MVP type of level. And really kind of establish Anthony Davis this season as now kind of being the main fixture. Right? A lot of talk about Anthony Davis this and Anthony Davis that. He's the guy and this, that, and the other. And then, all the actions on the basketball court have been otherwise. And look, it's not all on Darvin Ham. A lot of it is, don't get me wrong. But it also is on Anthony Davis. Right? He should have been more vocal. He should have been more assertive. He should have been more demanding of the basketball. And it's also on our playmakers. It's on LeBron. It's on D'Angelo Russell. It's on Austin Reeves. It's on whoever had the ball, right? To get the ball to your center. Get the ball to your best player. Put your best player in position. He's not the point guard, right? He can't, he can, but, he's not in the position to be bringing the ball up every possession. You need to feed your guy the basketball. You need to get him the basketball. There almost never is a possession where LeBron James doesn't touch the ball at least once. Right? That should be the same case with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis should be touching the basketball. But also another big thing that has been a real point of emphasis, and even Darvin Ham emphasized this last season, is Anthony Davis shooting. Kind of getting back to shooting the basketball more. And, look, you look at the bubble year, and Anthony Davis was money. This guy was so good shooting the basketball that year. This dude's making turnaround, fadeaway, falling threes over Jokic for game, right? Like, he was just another level that year. Even in the regular season, not so much from three during the regular season. During the playoffs, he was like 38% from three. He was an absolute monster. In the regular season, he was a lot more modest that year. When you look at his three-point percentage, he actually only shot 33% from three-point range on 3.5 attempts. But then you get to the playoffs, and you look at his playoff numbers, and he shot 38.3% from three. Now, ideally, in a perfect world, you kind of get him back to that, the 38%, not 33%. But also, Anthony Davis wants to play more four, which is fine, but he's got to be able to shoot the basketball, right? Like, we don't have like a stretch big really on this roster to where if Anthony Davis isn't able to shoot outside of 15 feet with consistency and to the point where teams have to respect it, then it's going to be very hard to kind of utilize him outside of 15 feet. He's still absolute money 15 in, but it's the 15 out that was the problem. And even though, like I said, his three-point percentage was only like 33, 34%, the bubble season, him basically 15 out was still money, right? Like he could knock it down basically anywhere on the basketball court, where the last few years, as soon as he kind of goes to like 17, 20 feet, like he can't buy a bucket, right? He can't knock it down. Now, JJ Redick himself has said he actually has a theory on how to fix Anthony Davis and his shooting. And look, JJ Redick is one of the greatest shooters to ever play the game. If anyone kind of figure out how to fix Anthony Davis shooting the basketball, it's him. And, so I do believe, now he didn't want to share what it was because he said it's just kind of a theory. He doesn't know for certain. But if he is right and he is able to fix it, then he'll relay what it was that needed to be fixed. So we'll see. But again, there has been this really big point of emphasis on Anthony Davis shooting the basketball. And that's fine, but I also don't want to see him take away from what he's best at, which is an automatic bucket 15 feet in, right? Like, I'm okay with Anthony Davis taking the occasional three. You want him to take 2 or 3 threes a game? Sure. I'm all for that. But I don't want to see him become Cat, essentially, where he's taking 6 to 8 threes a game out on the perimeter and just primarily a perimeter guy at this point, right? You need Anthony Davis to be inside. Lakers are at their best when Anthony Davis and LeBron James are dominating the paint. And Lakers are at their best when they're playing that inside-out game. It's how they even won their championship, right? Like, for a team that had guys like Alex Caruso, Danny Green, Kyle Kuzma, Avery Bradley, like all these guys that could shoot the basketball, the Lakers still were like 26th in three-point percentage that season, and was also, towards the bottom as far as field goal attempts from three. A lot of it was Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, all these guys dominating the interior, right? Basically knocking down from 15 in. And Anthony Davis was just absolute money in that regard. So I don't want to see that, like, my fear whenever you hear it, right? Like, and Darvin Ham talked about how, he wanted Anthony Davis to take like 7 threes a game or whatever it was. That was, him just instilling confidence. I don't really believe, we saw it, not like Anthony Davis started taking that many threes. So I do think it's safe to say that that was just simply instilling confidence in Anthony Davis in his shot. But, I don't want to see that actually become a reality. I even said that back then when Darvin Ham relayed that, right? Like, I am all for Anthony Davis taking a couple threes. And look, if he's hot a game, right, like let's say he's 3 for 3, right? Let him keep going. No, he's 4-4, 5 for 5. Let's say, he missed one, 5 for 6. Give him another one. Oh, he's 5 for 7 now. Right? Okay, he's starting to cool off. Or maybe he hits that next one. He's 6 to 7, right? Like, if he's hot and he's feeling it and he's cooking, feed the hot hand. Let him shoot the three. But don't force the issue. Right? I don't want to see Anthony Davis become a 3-and-D wing. I want to see Anthony Davis be what he is, which is a dominant big man that dominates on the inside in the interior. Right? Like, that's where he is best at. I want to see him. I want to see his versatility. I want to see him be able to be slotted essentially anywhere on the basketball court, because the more versatile he is, the better he is. But the most threes he's ever attempted was that 2019-2020 season, in which it was 3.5 attempts. The most he ever attempted outside of the Lakers, because he did have a season in which he averaged 2.8 attempts, and that was the following year, but he only shot 26% from three. But if you look at with the Pelicans, right? When he was with the Pelicans, the most 3-point attempts he ever took was 2.6, and he shot 33%. His best 3-point shooting season with the Pelicans was 34%, and that was 2017-2018, and he only took 2.2 attempts, right? Since then, Anthony Davis has basically been like 16, I think he's like 16%, something crazy like that, on just like threes. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been great at all. And we need the best version of Anthony Davis possible. And if you are going to expand him and bring him out to the 3-point line, fine, so be it. I'm all for it. But keep it within frame, right? Keep it within reason. Keep it to, 2.5, maybe 3.5 threes a game on average. Right? Some nights he's only taking 2. Some nights, again, he's feeling it, so he's taking 5 or 6. Right? But for the most part, you want Anthony Davis to dominate the interior. You want Anthony Davis to dominate 15 feet in. Be the best version of Anthony Davis possible. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? Do you think, yes, need Anthony Davis to, play within scope, play within frame. Don't get too crazy. Don't get too carried away. Shoot threes, but within reason. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.